Welcome back to Create, Nourish, Move. This is a quick flow for you, all about creating boundaries in your body in order to make more space and more freedom in your yoga practice. Setting boundaries, especially when it comes to our bodies, is difficult because it forces us to take a long look at what's going on in our bodies, what our challenges are, what our limitations might be, and what our edge is. So when we talk about our edge in yoga, that's a very specific boundary that we work with. It's a place where once you come up to it, you might find some challenges and there might be a lot of opening in your practice, but once you push past it, you might lose your inner calm, you might lose your breath or your peace, and you might even be more susceptible to injury. So we want to work towards that edge, but never past it. And that's the boundary I want to focus on today. So we can create a practice that's very open, but at the same time contained. So we're not giving it all away, so to speak. And another thing I'd like to mention as far as boundaries go in a yoga practice is props. So these are a way that you can expand your practice. And some people look at you might, if you're newer to yoga, look at a prop and feel like that's a limitation for you, but it actually can expand your practice by a ton. So blocks and props, you don't need them specifically for this practice, but if you have one or two blocks nearby, it can be very helpful. So go ahead and take a comfortable seat. You can sit up on the edge of your block, someplace where you can take a tall and long spine. Let the eyes shut down. Take a deep breath in, down towards your belly. And then a deep breath out, just sigh. And bring to mind something that you would like to create a boundary around. It might be in your yoga practice, or maybe something off the mat. What needs a little more control or containment? And how can you set a structure so that you can be more open, more successful, more free? Take a deep breath in and a sigh out. And just feel the boundaries, the edges of your body, even just sitting here in this pose. The sits bones press down into your prop or the floor. And palms rest on your thighs. Feel the boundaries of the breath as the lungs inflate into the bottom, the fronts, the backs, and the sides. And exhale, just noticing your capacity for breath in the lungs. And on your next inhalation, reach your arms all the way up over your head and feel the lungs and chest expand. And as you exhale, bring your left fingertips down towards the ground. Bend your left elbow a little bit as you stretch your right arm up and over your ear. And then spin your bottom lung up towards the sky so the chest revolves more towards the ceiling. And then inhale, come up to center. Exhale, right fingertips down, left arm goes up and over. Spin the chest open. You can bend into your bottom elbow a bit to get this big stretch up the left side. And then corset the ribs in towards each other a bit so there's some more structure and stability. Inhale, come back to center, interlace your fingers, bring your palms up towards the sky, and again, fold the floating ribs in towards each other. Lift up even more so you have this duality of groundedness and openness. And then exhale, hands come down towards the ground. Take your block away if you're sitting on a prop. Come into a tabletop position and just find the wrists right underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And then drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the gaze, but don't lift it too far, so keep the neck really long. You'll feel more spacious there if you look down. And then exhale, press the hands away, round through the upper back, drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. And exhale, round the spine. So you'll move like this in cat and cow a few times on your own. And follow the boundary of your breath. So the length of your inhalation and exhalation should inform your movement. And if you stick with that, you'll be able to be more open in your practice. So this is called a vinyasa, linking breath per movement with movement. And vinyasa really means to place in a special way. So just to be extra attentive and intentional with your breath and movement. Come back to a neutral spine, curl your toes under, lift your kneecaps off of the floor, and then slide your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Find your feet hips distance apart. So I promise your downward facing dog will feel more open if you do it this way with some extra alignment rules. So feet are hips distance apart. Hands should be about shoulder distance apart. Bend your knees a little. And then drag your sits bones up towards the sky as you lift your armpits up. Feel the arm bones ground. Feel the curve start to happen in the low back. And with that space, squeeze the biceps in towards each other so you're free in the low back, strong in the arms. And then you can start to ground the heels down towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they actually reach there. Look in between your hands as you float your right leg high, and then squeeze your knee in towards your nose like you want to give it a smooch, and then just step it all the way through in between your hands. Place your back knee down. Bring your hands up to the top of your right thigh and push your right leg away from you. So a boundary here that we're going to use is hugging into the midline of the body. So everything squeezes in, so we're nice and firm and solid. And then we're going to think about the base of the pose. Okay, so the base of the pose here is whatever's touching the ground, your foundation. So squeeze everything in and root to the floor. Then bring your arms up and go back. So as you lean back, again, the low ribs are going to come back with you. So you're not splaying way out and letting everything go. You're pulling it back and then up. So the spine's going longer and taller up instead of just back. And then exhale, bring your hands down towards the ground, lift your back kneecap up, a big step forward with your left foot to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, lift up halfway, a flat back, but the face stays down, reach the crown of your head forward, and then bow down again, exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, stand up tall, interlace your fingers, press up through the palms, give yourself some more space there, and then feel the grounding down through your feet. Inhale. And exhale, pour it all the way towards the floor. Step one foot back and then the other. Find yourself in your plank. Press through the palms. Come onto your tiptoes. Bend your elbows lower halfway down or knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide the chest through. Roll the shoulders back, but then hug. Again, everything in towards the midline. The core is engaged. Even here in your stretch pose, your upward facing dog. Curl the toes, lift the hips, send them back. And just feel we start to move with this intention. We feel more open. We feel more free in the body. Lift your left leg up high. Step the left foot forward as you squeeze the knee in towards the nose. The foot can land light. Bring your back knee down. Bring both hands up to your left thigh bone. And then press it away as the low ribs come in towards each other. The low belly pulls up and in. You can squeeze up on the pelvic floor. Inner thighs pull towards each other and then float your arms up. Dial the pinkies in. Lean the whole upper body back as you go up with the chest. So taller, open but contained. A breath in and a breath out. Bring your hands to the floor. Step your right foot forward to the top of your mat. Fold. Rise up to stand. This time cactus your arms. Press your elbows forward. Press your hip points forward. Lean open so the chest is super broad here across the collarbones. And then interlace your fingers out your low back, bend your knees, drop your fist up and over your head. Feel into the backs of your legs. We're doing some chest opening, warming for back bends, but we're also counteracting that with some turning in. Just like in life, if you keep giving it all away, doing everything for others, or running around saying yes, 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 sometimes we get depleted. So we open and then we give back to ourselves. Bend your knees, sink your hips, widen the sits bones apart, bring your arms up to shoulder height, plug the shoulders back into the sockets, and then open your arms to cactus here. Bring the elbows back so they're right in line with the shoulders and then sink a little bit lower. Press up to stand, inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to touch the floor. Keep your right foot where it is. Big step back with the left foot. So you can always have hands on blocks here. Wave your spine long. Find the inner thighs. Squeeze them together. This time bring the arms back behind you like you want your pinkies to touch behind the low back. And then press through your feet to come up to cactus arms in your crescent lunge. Bring the elbows back again. Look up and lean open. Exhale, hands come down, touch the floor, step your left foot forward to the top of your mat and fold. Inhale, stand up tall, interlace the fingers above your head, press the palms up, and exhale, bow it back down. Keep the left foot where it is now, big step back with the right foot. Inner thighs squeezing towards each other. Bring the hands back behind you, pinkies move like they're going to touch. Keep your core strong, and then big press up, cactus arms in your crescent lunge, elbows back, chest wide, lean open, and then touch the floor. You can move the blocks out of the way if you have them. High plank pose. Come onto your tiptoes, bend your elbows, come all the way down onto your belly. Now bring the tops of the feet flat, bring your hands behind you so the palms are facing down. Look down over the bridge of the nose, so try not to gaze up too much to crunch in the back of your neck. And then feel the body get longer as the toes float off of the floor, as your palms lift up. Try to soften your glutes. Okay, so then our leg bones go longer. Big toes move to touch. Lift the gaze just as much as the body's lifting. And then exhale, hands right down under your shoulders. Roll the shoulder heads up and back as you broaden through the chest again. Even through the front of the belly, you're creating some more space. And then exhale all the way down. Curl your toes under. Come back up onto hands and knees. Walk the feet in. Walk your knees in so they're underneath your shoulders and come up onto your knees. So you're standing here on your knees. Bring your hands to the low back. Hug your elbows in so they're kind of like chicken wings. Hug them in so the elbows move towards touching. Okay. And then bring the hips forward. This is camel pose. Hips goes forward, gaze goes up, but you're making a boundary for yourself of not overextending in the front body. So the chin can stay back towards the chest a little bit. And the neck stays long. The whole back rib cage moves up towards the front. The hips go forward, but you're still contained and controlled. Inhale, come all the way back up. Sit back on your heels and just feel the stimulation from that sort of pose. And when we do it with structure from the bottom up, we can enjoy that open feeling it gives us without depleting too much. We'll do it 2 more times. Come back up to hands to your knees. This time, let's practice. This is another boundary. You can give yourself a little assist here. You can curl the back toes under. Both sets of toes. Curl all 10 toes under. Hands to the low back again. And then press the hips forward. Squeeze the elbows in. Gaze up. So the throat stays long so you could speak here and it would come out clearly. And then with this assist of your heels, it gives you a little kickstand. You can bring your hands to the backs of your ankles. Squeeze the shoulders together. Open but strong so the core stays engaged. And your camel pose. The breath stays long and fluid. And then tuck your chin further towards your chest. Come all the way up straight. And sit back down on your heels. Take a breath in. And a sigh out. One more time like that. Inhale. And exhale. One more camel pose. Stand up on your knees. Hands to your low back again. You can either have toes curled under or keep the hands at the low back, or this time you're going to lean straight back first. Okay, so lean straight back. So from the shoulders to the knees stays straight like a staff. And then you might float your hands all the way down towards your ankles. Press the hip points forward, back of the rib cage forward towards the front of the rib cage. Lift the gaze. Inhale and exhale. Broad through the collarbones, strong through the torso. Inhale. And exhale. And then come all the way back up, chin towards chest. Sit your hips back towards your heels. A doggy visitor. And just feel the stimulation here from your camel pose. It's a very energizing pose. We want to enjoy the benefit of that energizing while keeping structure. Ground your hands down towards your thighs. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. So you're seated, comfortable position here. Let the body start to soften. Let the eyes soften. And bring your hands to heart center. And bow your chin towards your chest. Send yourself gratitude for coming to your mat, for creating some boundaries in the body and finding energy and freedom in your yoga poses. Namaste. And stay wildly well.